If you want to tell me that I'm completely out of track, antediluvian, I love that word. Can you spell it 25 times, please, in your homework book? Antediluvian. But isn't this what happens when kids have kids? A quick word from Sue Atkins, who's a parenting coach and author. Is also involved in a guide helping parents say no to smartphones, which is a very pertinent subject. Sue joins me now. Well, I won't say I clashed because Paula and I had a friendly disagreement. You're chuckling there. I'm concerned that children are having children.
Yes.
Paula's saying that it takes a village to raise a child, and I'm not showing enough empathy or sympathy. How would you come down on that? Morning, Chief.
Good morning. Well, clearly it was irresponsible parenting, and I was struck by the fact that she said, it wasn't put to me how much I needed to be there. Clearly there's intergenerational patterns of poor parenting. I kind of understand that. But she is a 30-year-old woman. My daughter's 30.
Oh, right.
She is, she knows she has to take responsibility. It is the mother's fault. The child doesn't have a great role model, to be quite honest, if the father's in jail. It is a complicated situation. He's got ADHD. That does require quite a lot of extra kind of input and knowledge. There's a lot of things going on there. You've got a recipe for disaster because all children need stable, nurturing and supportive environments. They need boundaries. They need values passed on to them. Because my point is, she was on holiday for the sentencing, but where was she when he was part of the mob that attacked the bus and outside the hotel and, 3 days later wearing a balaclava, kicking the windows of a vape
He's out again.
shop?
Yep,
He's out again. So
Yeah.
this is not a one-off and, I didn't know and I'm sorry. It does need looking at. Not all young mothers, and I really want to say this, are bad mothers or bad parents. So it's not that. It tends to be, and I don't know the story in detail, but it would strike me as intergenerational patterns of poor parenting from her that then gets passed on down the generations, unfortunately.
How is this to be stopped, lastly, Sue?
Well, they're going to give her... You see, it is about the mother, not just the son. It's a combination of a family. She needs to go, apparently, on some parenting classes that would hopefully help her to understand how to handle ADHD, how to put in boundaries, why children need all these sort of nurturing things. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? It's challenging. It's not very edifying, and it's actually rather depressing.
Grateful for your time. Sue Atkins, thank you, author and parenting coach. Let's get to your calls. Who came through first? Nicola in Midhurst. Nicola, your view of this mum. Good morning.
Morning, Nick. I haven't spoken to you for ages, but I felt compelled to call
Good
in.
to have you on again. I recognise your name when it popped up.
Did you? I've got 4 sons, and my youngest is 11, my eldest is 17.
Right.
And I just sit here going, where is the father? Where are social services? Nobody is helping this family. There is a responsibility of the state with a child who is in need, where the father is in prison. And why is so much emphasis put on the mother? Boys need a father. They need a role model in their life. And actually, it's incredibly difficult as a mum, and I'm 5'6". My sons are 6'2", much bigger than me, and even my 11-year-old is bigger than me.
Right.
It's incredibly difficult to manage children who've suddenly become men at such a young age without support.
Where does it say in any management guide that when your son is in dire straits, potentially really dire straits legally, you go off to Ibiza?
No, I absolutely agree that that's completely the wrong thing to do. But this family are crying out for help and support. And, where are, social services? Where is the school? Where is the intervention?
Where was the mum when you went out on 2 separate occasions, July 31st and August the 3rd, throwing things at police cars or asylum seeker hotels? Where was mum then?
Absolutely.
Why are you
but he
making
might be going,
excuses, Nicola, for this woman?
because I just feel there's too much emphasis always put on the mother. Where is the father and his responsibility? Where's the father's family?
Well, we believe the father be in jail, but I can't confirm that, but it's thought he could be in jail. So not that means, that lets him off the hook, but he can't do a lot if he's in behind bars, can he?
No, but I think there is a responsibility that extends beyond just the mother. And yes, she has behaved badly and appallingly. And would I do that? Absolutely not. However, there has to be emphasis placed on the father, his family, the role model, and social services involvement in this case.
Nicola, look after yourself. Good to hear from you again. Look after those boys. Ella's in Sidcup. Ella, we look to social services. We look to possibly the dad as well. Your response to that? Morning.
Morning. Good morning, Nick. First time caller.
Lovely
I've
to
been
have
a
you on.
silent listener for many years of your show.
Good to have you on.
But I really couldn't help but to call in this morning. Nick, I'm 100% behind you. The responsible of this, she's irresponsible, to be honest with you. Ibiza, come on, your child is going to be sentenced in a court case. I'm a parent of 3 children, 2, 16, 15 and 3. It just shocks me. Your child is going through something as serious as this, and you're actually thinking more of to go away to Ibiza.
What would you say to her if you had the opportunity to actually address this mother who decided that Ibiza was more important than her son's potential sentencing? What would you say to her?
I would probably just say to her to have a good look at herself, really, because we are the reflection of our kids. I believe that. I mean, our behaviour, what we're doing, we're reflecting on our kids. And I always say that to my kids, and whoever you mix with is going to be a reflection of you. So if, the adult here is actually giving her children that it's okay to be going away when there's something so important that's going. And we have to think about this child's mental health as well, Nick. Because obviously there's something there for him to have triggered to go off and do what he did in the first place.
We also need to provide him with as much assistance as we can because we should give him some sympathy. Ella, thank you. Great first-time caller. Kelly's in Hillingdon. Kelly, your view of this mum. Good morning.
Good morning. As I was listening, I was very conflicted because there's 2 separate incidents here. There's the young man who's made the decision to join the antisocial behaviour, and then there's the mum who's decided not to be at the court case. So the lady that you had on, the professional that you had on before, was just mixing the 2, and it can't be done. The mum had a clear choice to make. It was to miss her holiday, lose her money, and be there for her son. And she chose not to be. She chose to send another adult to represent, which maybe in that generation she felt was okay. It's not okay, and she should have been there. Maybe she didn't understand the severity, and that's where attitudes passed down through parenting and through generations comes into play. And we have to be teaching our children what's important, what's not important, and being at specific events or specific dates, whether you want to be there or not. That's what's the important thing. And the mum just unfortunately has not. Now, the father's not around. He can't be a father figure. You can't force a father figure if there isn't one there. So she is doing it on her own. But that doesn't make an excuse for not being there. I believe that the holiday or whatever it was should have come second.
You're right.
Unfortunately, it is gutting, missing a holiday. I'm sure we've all had experiences of missing out on things, but that is what a parent is, and that is what you sign up for.
Kelly, well said. It was holiday or the child. Mum picked the holiday. You've summed it up succinctly, Kelly. Thank you. Joe in Putney. Joe, your reaction, your view of the mum, let's say.
She seems very disconnected and very like, I can't cope with this. I'm just going to go off,
Right.
Which is all well and good, but you are that child's parent. And you have to face up to what is happening. But it sounded to me like, I just can't cope. I'm going off. Leave it to somebody else. Did she not think about how her son might have felt, even though his uncle was there with him? It's not his mom. Did she not think that he might be frightened? The courtroom is a very intimidating place, especially for a child. And he knows he's not just sitting there as a spectator. He's in the dock.
Joe, thank you. Jonathan in West Sussex. She needs to understand what good parenting looks like. We adopted 2 boys. When we were reading through their information pack initially, we could see their parents, because of their own upbringing, didn't stand a chance of parenting their own children well or appropriately. The mother of this child needs help and proper parenting role models in order to parent them effectively. Jonathan, so the woman needs, let's use your words again, needs help to realise that instead of going to the court with her son, she can go to Ibiza. Seriously? Bernard and Bethnal Green, your view of this. Bernard, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Sounds to me like the mother is very frustrated with that child and however the child, whatever relationship she has with that child, but she has lost the perfect opportunity to actually attempt to fix it, because if you have a child going before court at that age, if you're there to support them and to talk it through, then the child will possibly turn to you and maybe mend their ways. But if you turn your back and you go away to Ibiza and you leave the child in someone else's hands, then you actually distance yourself even more from that child.